Yo, what's going on, guys? Cultimush back at it with the top 5 best graphics cards for the money. Now, this is the pre-Black Friday edition of this series, and I thought it would be really interesting to do this video as reference, so when we go into Black Friday and see what all the deals are, we can look back at this video and look at what the pre-Black Friday deals were. And right now, there are actually some really good deals on video cards, so if somehow at Black Friday they're even better than this, well then those would have to be some really great deals. And a lot of you guys have been requesting me to update this series, so I thought, hey, why not? Let's do it. Obviously, next week I'll be covering all the Black Friday deals as it pertains to PC hardware, but that's next week. As for now, let's get right into this with number 5. Number 5 is the Sapphire Radeon RX 460. This is the 2GB model, available for $97 on Newegg, and there's a $10 mail-in rebate, knocking it down to $87. Now, the 4GB model is also an option, but I don't really think you should go for that when you're buying a GPU this cheap. It's not like the 2 and 4GB difference is going to make that big of an impact for the person that's buying a lower tier video card, because you're not trying to push crazy settings and crazy resolutions out of your games anyway. A GPU like this is fit more for a media PC or a PC that's looking to play lower tier games like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, and dabble into some higher end games, but not really worrying about maxing out higher end games at like 1080p or 1440p. And for $87, it's a really solid option for those of you on a tight budget. Now, moving on from here is where it gets really tricky, because right now there isn't a very good option for a video card at around $150. The GTX 1050 Ti is out there, but that GPU I just think is a little overpriced, and I don't think it's very good for the money. Given the performance that I've been seeing for it, I don't think it's that great of an option. The XFX Radeon RX 470 is available for $190, and there's a $15 mail-in rebate, knocking it down to $175. I think this is a pretty good deal. Unfortunately, it's not around $150, and it does come close to the RX 480, which we'll get to in a second. If at Black Friday you see a GPU like the 470 for $150 to $160, I think that is an absolute killer deal. For $175, it's still very good. The unfortunate thing about it is just right now the RX 480 is just so close in price, and when we talk about the 480, there's a caveat with that GPU that just really increases its value. But nonetheless, the RX 470 is still a solid option for $175. It's a very capable 1080p video card, and performance-wise, it's not far below the 480 anyway. Speaking of the RX 480, the MSI Radeon RX 480, the 4GB model, is available for $220. $20 mail-in rebate on this one, knocking it down to $200. The caveat I was speaking on earlier with the 480 is right now if you buy it, you get a free copy of Civilization 6, which in my opinion is huge. That's a very new game, and that's a game a lot of PC players are looking at when you're buying a new PC. Civilization 6 might be one of the first games you want to play, and if not, this is a game you can very easily get rid of, although you'll probably just end up redeeming it. And right now, I believe this game still goes for $50. Newegg has it listed as a value of $30. I believe Civ 6 still sells for like 50, 60 bucks. That's a huge incentive when buying the RX 480. Yes, it is the 4GB model. I think the 4GB model is the better option. It comes in at significantly cheaper, around $30 to $50 cheaper. And again, just like with the RX 460, but at a slightly larger scale, when you're buying a GPU like the RX 480, getting an 8GB GPU isn't essential. A 4GB model is just better because most people buying this video card are just gaming at 1080p. And now to get a GPU like this and get a free copy of Civilization 6, comparatively speaking to where the RX 480 was at launch and its price, right now is a much better place for the video card and for those of you looking to pick it up. 200 bucks for the GPU after a mail-in rebate and a free copy of Civ 6. If you value that at least $40, that means you're getting the GPU at $160, which is just insane. And it gets a bit tricky here because at number 2, I have the EVGA GeForce GTX 1070. Before I talk about that video card, I just want to speak on the fact that yes, from the 480 to the 1070, that is a gigantic jump. And right now, the median between those two GPUs, there isn't a very surefire option. The 1060 is out there, and that's a pretty good option for around $270. So if you want to look at that GPU, feel free as well. The 1060 is a really good card. I just think the 480 right now might be a better option because unlike with the 1070 and the 1080, you don't get a free copy of Gears of War 4 with the 1060, but with the 480, you do get a free copy of Civilization 6. I know some of you guys rail on me for always mentioning the free incentives, but I think that should be taken into account. After all, AMD and Nvidia are spending a significant amount of money to get these promotions done, so I think they should be credited on that. Enough of the ramble. Number 2 is the EVGA GeForce GTX 1070, available for $390. Like I said, a free copy of Gears of War 4 comes with this. I've spoken on the 1070 several times now. The GPU is absolutely amazing. Whether you're gaming at 1080p or 1440p, it tears through a lot of games. Like I've mentioned before, at 1440p, it does struggle on some of the higher end games and some games that aren't optimized up to par. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is a game that at 1440p, the frame rate is really good, but I do see it falter from time to time. That's a game I've been playing a lot of recently, so I should know. If you're gaming at 1080p, well then the 1070 is an absolute beast and you'll be good for a while. We're talking 2, 3, maybe even 4 years at 1080p because it just performs so well. And with games visually stagnating a little bit over the last year or two, the 1070 right now is just a really good option if you're looking to future-proof yourself for a little while. Finally, number 1 is the MSI GeForce GTX 1080, the 8GB video card. Again, with this GPU, you get a free copy of Gears of War 4. Right now, it's available for around $580, which, yes, is very expensive for a video card, but considering the type of performance the GTX 1080 gives you, you're getting what you paid for. The 1080 can even push high-quality 4K gaming, but obviously at max settings and 60 FPS, the 1080 will falter on that on some of the higher-end games, but that's to be expected. At 1440p, this GPU is just insane. As long as a game is a good port, it's optimized, you'll be getting well over 60 FPS on games like Battlefield 1, Witcher 3. With Witcher 3, there is the thing of Hairworks. So yeah, there's always these things you can say about, yes, but can it run The Witcher 3 with Hairworks and all that stuff? Maybe not at 100 FPS, but just know that the 1080 is going to give you a really great 1440p experience on every game imaginable, except for something like Dishonored 2, which I have a video of, and that frame rate wasn't very good, but nonetheless, that's to be expected when games just aren't optimized. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. It'll be very interesting to see how these GPU prices fluctuate heading into next week. I've been talking about Black Friday a lot, and I know a significant portion of my viewers are getting tired of all the Black Friday talk. They don't even have Black Friday where they're at, but for those of you that do, next week will be very interesting, and I'll make sure to bring you guys whatever the best deals are and let you guys know about them. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you have a request for a future video, you can leave it in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.